welcome to our Read and Discuss. We do this every Wednesday night, so I'm glad that you're here to join us. And you already did join our Skype group too, so thank you very much. So, yeah. Where are you from, by the way?
Hi.
Oh, it's Alicia. Oh, Alicia. Yeah, is that right? Yeah. Oh, okay. So, how about are there other people who was joining for the first time aside from Alicia? Oh, okay.
I think I used to attend to this reading once or twice before.
Oh, yeah, yeah. We do this once. This read and discuss, yeah, once a week, every Wednesday night,
Hi,
Philippine time. Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So let us start with our read and discuss. But thank you very much for joining. Tonight we will read the story "A Seed Not Planted Cannot Grow: The Fundamental Law of Cause and Effect." This is from the book Something You Forgot Along the Way by Buddhist author Kentetsu Takamori. Okay, so I will share my screen with you guys so you can all see the story. Okay, there. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, yes, that's great. Okay, I will need two volunteers to read the
I,
story. Read the first part on the left side and then read the rest on the right side.
I'd like to read the
Can
first
I?
part.
Okay, go ahead. Maybe Kevin will read first and then Ha will read the rest. Okay, we'll start with
Okay.
Kevin and then Han next. Thank you.
All right. A seed not planted cannot grow. The fundamental law of cause and effect. One October, a man went on a trip to the east. A cool breeze blew through fields of ripened grains that stretched in waves of gold as far as the eye could see. Nearby, a farmer was leisurely at work, smoking a pipe, his face creased in a smile. Later, the man returned to the same country and found the waves of gold harvested into neat sheaves, lying piled by each house. From within came the sounds of contented conversation and laughter. The man said to himself, "This is a paradise. Imagine that. People here reap a great harvest with no trouble." He could only envy such good fortune, and went and told his neighbor all about it.
Okay, thank you very much. And then Ha, could you please read the rest of the story?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
His name he set off at the beginning of May and arrived to find everyone over in mood and sweet, hard at work. Thinking these were strange, he finished his business and went home. When he came by the following month, he found people sweating buckets in the hot sun, hard at work as before, with no golden wage in sight and no shifts either. He frowned. My neighbor put a fast one on me. This is no paradise. It's a perfect hell. Hidden in every success story are tears. A seed that is not planted cannot grow. People ignorance of this fundamental law of cause and effect are greatly to be pitied.
Okay, thank you very much for reading. Okay, let me just, okay, wait. Okay, there. So thank you very much for reading, Kevin and Ha. So what we just read tonight is a seed not planted cannot grow, the fundamental law of cause and effect. So guys, I would like to ask, okay, I would like to ask you guys, what do you know about the word karma? How do you understand the word karma? You can put your answers in the chat box, or you can just use your mic and answer. How do you answer? How do you understand the word karma? Okay, anyone can answer, either in the chat box or in the Skype group. Yeah, you could answer that too. I I think by now, many of you have an idea what the word karma is, or yeah, have heard about the word karma. Okay. Anyway, I ask this because karma, the word karma, is extremely related to the law of cause and effect, which is the theme of this story. In fact, the other name for the law of cause and effect is the law of karma. So the word karma is always mistaken as the result or the effect of our actions, especially when someone meets a misfortune. We say, ah, that's their karma. Or when someone does something bad, we say something along the lines of, you will meet your karma soon, or karma will take care of you, things like that. I used to think this about the word karma too. However, through studying Buddhism, I learned that karma actually means actions. So when we do something, when we say something, or when we think of something, that is karma. In short, karma is the action or the deed. Karma is not the result or effect or consequence of our actions. So let's keep that in mind for now. Karma is action, deed, or seed. These are the things we do, things we say, and things that we think of. These are all karma. Okay. So I guess we're okay so far. If you have any questions, or if you just want to ask something or say something, you can interrupt me if you can speak with your mic, through your mic. And if not, you could type in the chat box here or in Skype, and then we'll get to what you're going to say or to your questions. Okay. So moving on, there are two men in our story, right? The first man went to the country and witnessed this magnificent sight. Okay, he most probably saw this, like the one we have in the screen right now. So he saw ripened grains in fields that stretched far and wide. He also saw when these grains were harvested, and also heard sounds of contentment and laughter from the houses within these fields. So, based on these things he witnessed and heard, he thought, wow, this is paradise. People are happy and contented. So, what man number one saw was success, achievement, and good fortune. And then we have man number two. Man number two probably saw this. Okay. So, the man number two is the neighbor of man number one, to whom he relayed what he saw. He told him all about this place of paradise with bounty harvest and happy, contented people. So, yeah. Oh, sorry. Anyway, um, moving on. If is there someone want to say something? Oh, sorry about that. Oh, yes, yeah, yeah, Claire. Effect and result. Yeah, let's remember that for now. Okay, going back. So, man number two decided he wanted to see for himself what man number one saw. However, when he went there, what he saw was far from what man number one told him. Instead, he saw people covered in mud and sweat under the sun working very hard. He then thought, this is hell. So, what man number two saw was hard work, hardships, and effort. He saw no golden fields of grain or sounds of contentment and laughter. And all of us have been in the shoes of both man number one and man number two, don't you think? let's not go far and just look at social media. By now, I think it's safe to assume that we have all been using or been involved in some kind of social media platform, right? Um, let's look at Facebook, for example. We have friends and we see what they post. When we see them post the nice stuff like travel photos or dining out at rather pricey restaurants or flaunting luxury items or displaying achievements, maybe we can't help but think, oh, their life is so nice. They must feel bliss all the time, and maybe they do not worry about a thing. And then sometimes this is followed with a, okay, sorry about that, it's noisy. Okay, so then sometimes this is followed with a hint of envy in our part too, right? And maybe we would think like, oh, why can't I be that happy or fortunate like them? So, this feeling of jealousy over other people's success most probably happens to all of us, whether we say it out loud or we just keep it to ourselves. Then, in more rare instances, we can also see friends who post about unfortunate stuff. That happens too, right? Um, like maybe they will post something like when they failed an exam or they lost a job or broken off with a relationship and so on. We could see posts like that. And when we see this, we can't help but think to ourselves, oh, I don't want to be in their shoes. They must feel held. It must feel hell being them right now, right? So yeah, that's something that we think when we see these kinds of posts. But anyway, so thinking like this, thinking num- like man number one and man number two under these situations are justifiable or valid, right? Sometimes it just takes a split second to think about it. We don't even have time to consider or analyze the situation. So, but this kind of thinking is quite risky or dangerous, right? Don't you think? So, can you guys tell me why um, it's risky to formulate judgment before we analyze the situation? Yeah, you can type your answers in the chat box here or in Skype. So, let me check. Oh, I can't see the. I'm having trouble seeing the, what do you call this? The meeting controls. Oh, there. Sorry. Okay, um, so thinking like this, right? Um, what is risky about such thoughts, like formulating judgment before we analyze the situation, is that we are basing our judgment over someone and we are basing how we should feel about them and their situation on just one instance of their lives. We either feel jealous or sorry for for others based on this part of their life that they decided to share. Since it only takes a split second to formulate these judgments inside our head, it's easy to get caught in the manner of always feeling jealousy or sorry over someone's single event in life, right? So, especially when we read it in social media. But of course, we would always think like this. The feeling would almost always go first before the analysis. But it would surely benefit us if after we have felt jealousy or we have felt sorry, we think along the lines of, oh, this is not their entire life, right? This is not the whole picture. So I don't need to burden myself with whatever I'm feeling right now. Something like that. Or if you have other ways on how to deal with in such a situation, please share with us through the chat box. We would also like to know. So, this is most helpful in the case of feeling jealous over others' success. We have to remember that social media has become the platform now where people can display their best selves. So, naturally, people most often would only like to share the best part of their lives. And when we see this, and after the hint of envy we feel, we can maybe acknowledge that we did feel envy, but at the same time, use that to motivate ourselves to be better persons with better lives, rather than sulking and thinking how pathetic our lives are compared to theirs, right? So let's go to the next slide. Okay. So here, okay, you may have seen this poster or something similar floating in social media, floating around social media for some time, right? Like what it is said near the end of the story, hidden in every success story are tears. So, in most instances, people always want to show the success and never the tears. Let us remember that too. So, a seed not planted cannot grow. We should not ignore this fundamental law of cause and effect. But what does it mean? What does a seed not planted cannot grow mean? So I would just like to explain this briefly to you guys. And to explain this, I would like to show you the three principles of the law of cause and effect. So there, okay, sorry. Okay, there. We have the three principles to the law of cause and effect. First is good cause, good effect, meaning my good actions will bring me good results. And then bad cause, bad effect, meaning my bad actions will bring me bad results. And own cause, own effect, meaning I am the only one who will receive the results of my actions and no one else. Okay, so these three principles are the vital points to the law of cause and effect, or the law of karma. So a seed not planted cannot grow means an action that was never done will never bear consequences. But once an action or deed is done, then you are sure to get the consequences or the results. So, if you do good actions, then you will get good results. Do bad actions, and you get the bad results. But the third principle, my own cause, my own effect, we should also know by heart. Since we are the only ones who will receive the effects of our own actions, we have to be careful on what we do, what we say, and what we think. To demonstrate this, own cause, own effect. Mm, let's say, for example, we exercise regularly, okay? But because we exercise regularly, we get fit and maybe our mood gets better. Sorry. However, other people will not get fit or have a good mood because of our exercising. So that's only our own cause, own effect. And another example would be, for example, we drink too much alcohol and we get drunk. So we get drunk from our drinking too much alcohol, but our friend beside us will not get drunk because of our drinking. Okay, so that's how we that's how own cause own effect works. So if you attended the talk this morning, these were also the examples given by Frank in a more detailed talk on the third principle of the law of cause and effect. So, if we want to get good results, we have to start doing good deeds, do good actions, say good things, and think good thoughts. In fact, if we are to further condense the message or lesson Buddhism is telling us, it is to do good now. Okay, so this is the core of the law of cause and effect. Do good now. It's basically telling us to start doing good actions so we start reaping good effects. And because of that, that will make us happy and we will have a happier future ahead of us. And this is always a good place to start in pursuing the Buddhist path. Um, when I was a beginner in Buddhism, I usually get overwhelmed with the many new things I learn that sometimes I get confused on what I should be doing first. But this phrase, do good now, is like a place I always go back to somehow when I get off course with my Buddhist learning. So if you can't remember all of the things that you heard about the law of cause and effect or the law of karma, since they're the same, law of cause and effect and law of karma are the same, then just remember this phrase, do good now, and then slowly somehow it will go back to you what the law of cause and effect is all about. Then maybe you could start to remember all this, all the three principles of the law of cause and effect. Okay, so that's the main message of Buddhism, do good now. It starts there, and it's always a good, if you're going to pursue the Buddhist path or your Buddhist study, this is a good starting place or a good place to always go back to if you somehow get off course or get confused along the way, because there are so many lessons and it's not only natural that sometimes you get confused along the way. Okay, so do you have any questions or anything you would like to add to what we just discussed? Let me check. Okay, do you have any? Okay, none so far. Okay, so um, if you don't have questions now, that's okay. But for questions that will come later to you, please type it in the Skype group you just joined in for this talk, and we will address them. We we will answer them, maybe not right away, maybe later, but we always answer them. So please don't be shy or just ask anything and we will answer them. Okay, so that's it for tonight, guys. Thank you very much, and I'm glad you joined us for this talk. And please stay healthy and remember, do good now. Okay, good night, and until our next talks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you so
much.
much. Have a good night.
Have a good
Yeah,
night.
you too. Good night. Thank you.